Hey guys, it's Andy. I came in today and I wanted to give y'all an update on the flooding and all of that stuff. So to start off with the flooding, everything is fine. A company came out, they cleaned all the carpets. They did really good. The smell is all gone, so we're back good with that. But I also noticed how quiet it was in here today. I'm like, okay, well that means something's wrong, right? So this is my my frag tank here. I keep all of my corals in this system, and this is the sump. Inside the sump, I have a protein skimmer. The protein skimmer is basically a bubble maker, and it makes the dissolved proteins float to the top, which is then collected in a cup that goes in the top. Well, something is going on because the pump is running and the water is flowing through, but it's not sucking any air through here. So what we're going to do is take it apart just a little bit, pull it out of the water, and see if we can figure out what's wrong. Okay, so once again, this is the protein skimmer. It literally just sits in the sump. It'll take in water from down below, and it mixes it with an air mixture and turns it into a foam. The foam is pushed to the top and goes through this area here, comes out here and settles inside the cup. That way you can actually remove the waste from the tank. I may do another video that's a little bit more descriptive on that. But anyway, this protein skimmer is running. The water is flowing. If you can see right here, the water is coming out. But for some reason, we're not getting any air. So first thing I'm going to do is pick this guy up and bring it out of the tank, which of course always involves more than what you are thinking. Put that right there for right now. We're going to pick it up and see if we can see any issues. And I do. I see the issue. So basically, I used these to dislodge some detritus that was down here at the bottom, and it was stopping the inside of the intake. And so now you see, it is now sucking air again. Alright, so now you can see the protein skimmer is operating again, and the noise that I was kind of happy went away is now back. So since we're down here and we're kind of fixing some things, let's see if we can't figure out how to make this more quiet. So this right here is just can be an air adjustment tool. It comes with a lot of different parts. So we'll put that in there. And what that will do is we'll restrict the airflow. So as you see, the airflow is restricted and the bubbles went away. So let's open this up. And I guess you could say it made it a little bit quieter. Not a whole bunch, but definitely a little bit. So you see we have the air going in here to the pump, getting mixed with the water. The bubbles float to the top, creating a foam. Some people call that skimmate. And then we'll put this cup in, and the bubbles, as they break down, they get heavier and heavier, and the bubbles underneath are lighter and lighter, and end up pushing this waste to the top of this cup. So as of right now, as you can see, the bubbles are popping at the top. And I only roll this down so you can kind of get an example of how it works, because it takes a while for those bubbles to build up to this level. But after a while, it'll have enough dissolved proteins in the skimmate, and it'll fall into this cup, and that way you can remove it from the fish tank. Alright, so as you can see, the skimmer is still operating. I just kind of wanted to show you the difference that this little metering valve made in the sound. So you can see the bubbles remain about the same consistency. And I'll put that on, and it makes it a little quieter. And we still got good foam, as you can now see. Alright, so real quick, since we're on the topic of protein skimmers today, apparently, as you can hear, it's still very quiet. It is skimming very well. We're going to do like a very basic diagram of a protein skimmer. I'm going to draw y'all a picture of the very first protein skimmer I ever owned, and it was actually one that I made. And the reason why I'm taking it to such a simple form is because there are so many different flavors of these things. There's ones that you adjust the intake. There's some that you adjust the exhaust. There's some that you adjust the air. There's a lot of different types. But I'm going to show y'all the gist of what a protein skimmer really does. So when I got my first saltwater tank, I bought an air pump, which is just an air pump. Just like every other aquarium has that makes the bubbles in the water. A bubbler, there's all kinds of terms for it, but it's a bubble maker. And I ran an air line to an air stone, and bubbles, came out of the air stone. Then I got a smart water bottle, which was kind of tall, and I cut the bottom out of it. And I placed it on top of the bubbles. So now all the bubbles were inside this bottle. And this area right here is really where a lot of magic happens. Because as the bubbles go up and they get compressed in that cone shape, the bubbles burst and the dissolved proteins attach to lighter bubbles, then those burst and attach onto other bubbles. So the more that the bubbles are there, or the longer that the bubbles are there, the dirtier they become, and the lighter bubbles at the bottom end up pushing these guys through the top, the heavy, more solid bubbles, or skimmate at that point. And then I took another bottle and cut off like this, and I put a tube in that, and I made my own collection cup. This was just made out of using nothing but smart water bottles and an air stone. This is your basic principle of how a protein skimmer works. You churn the water, you aerate the water the best you can, you make bubbles, the dirtier bubbles get pushed to the top, then you figure out a way to collect them in a cup. So that's Protein Skimmer 101. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking out the video. Like, subscribe, whatever you like to do, and we appreciate it. Y'all have a great day.